Hey there, viewers and listeners. We are live. This is Big Law 7 City, Shop Talk Sports. And what a game! What a game. This was probably the most exciting game of the year. Playing Virginia Tech, their rivals, cross-state rivals. I think about it and I say, this team played hard today. I think they played well enough and they deserve to win. I think they made mistakes that were definitely fixable, but, Virginia Tech shot well from three. They shot 11 of 21, um, which is better than 50% from 3 points. And to lose the game by 1 point, 74 to 75, I just feel like this team is still trying to find themselves. They're still trying to figure out exactly what kind of team they are. Now, I will tell you this: when they play up tempo, this is a different team. I think that they can play with at least half the teams in the ACC if they play up tempo. Um, they got a lot easier buckets today. They drove, they kicked the ball out. They to me, I felt like this was more indicative of what this team really is. It's not the slow, prodding offense that Tony's used to running, you know, based off of the talent you have now. They got to play up tempo. They got to look for easier buckets. They got to drive to the rim. Maybe you get fouled. Maybe you can get a shot closer to the rim instead of um, depending on more jump shots. I will tell you this: Luwal, number one for Virginia Tech, is an absolute animal. The kid is super talented. He's only a junior, and he has a complete skill set when it comes to on the offensive side of the ball. The kid's a triple threat. He can shoot. He can get to the bucket. He's definitely one of those kind of players. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the kid's averaging 15 or 20 points next year if he stays in the ACC now. But back to UVA, everybody contributed. I like that part. But this team is still trying to find their identity. And as they continue to find their identity, looks like they changed the lineup some. I saw Rhodey come off the bench. Like J.D. Ames had some moments here. Isaac McNeely had some moments here. Um, Rhodey, McNeely, Tane Murray. Everybody had some moments within the game. Even the big man, Anthony, had some big moments. Had some moments there where everybody was scoring the ball. It was just a matter of not pulling it out in the end. And to be honest, if they were going to play the if they were going to play the 3 point a little bit different and not roll off the guys, I think it would have been a different outcome. Rob Gray, my man, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in the chat and saying of all people to take a shot. Yeah, it was Rhodey. I mean, there wasn't enough time. He was the one, who was there to receive the ball after the rebound. So, if nothing was there, when he was driving down to kick, something had to be done. I'm not going to really knock him on that. I've knocked him on certain things, but, he was on a player that was smaller than him. He was trying to get to the rim. I mean, I do appreciate him going to the rim, which is something that this team hasn't done much except as of late. To give you, for instance, I mean, they shot 52% and 55, 60% or 57% from three. Virginia Tech did. UVA shot 48%. Rebounds, Virginia Tech had 31 rebounds. UVA had 30. So they hit the boards, which is more than what they usually had been going on this year. Also assists, UVA had 19 assists. On their shots, which is really good. 14 of 18 from the free throw line. They shot those pretty well, even though McNeely probably he missed a shot during those three, which I think would have changed the narrative of the game a little bit. And they only had 4 turnovers, so they weren't turning the ball over. I felt like I said before, this is a game I felt like this team should have won. But hats off to Virginia Tech. Those kids played well. They played well enough to win, to come into the JPJ and get a win. Um, but the Wahoos continue to try to figure out who they are. This game was to really help them climb out of the basement as being one of the bottom three teams to get to the tournament. Remember, you gotta be one of the top teams, not in the bottom three when it comes to the ACC tournament. That's what they have to shoot for. They got to go on some kind of a run here, and I'm not sure exactly where they go from here. I mean, they just got to keep playing the way and the style that they've been playing lately, which is more up tempo, more a little bit more pick and roll, looking for the big man to finish. Um, and they did pretty well with that. I will give them some props on doing that to try to play the game more of a not so regimented. I just don't think they. Number one, they don't have a strictly a true ball handler, and I think when you don't have that, you still have to try to manufacture points. As I used the analogy last week, when it comes to like baseball, you kind of when you don't have a lot of offensive talent, up and down your lineup, you got to manufacture runs. And that's, what I feel like this team has to do. They have to manufacture points. And they did what they could do. They had a chance to win. That's all you can really ask for this team. There's been a lot of games where this team got blown out, which is something we're not used to seeing from a Tony Bennett ran team. Wesley in the chat, he's saying, if it weren't for Rhodey, we wouldn't even had a chance. Like I said, I'm not upset with Rhodey taking that shot. I feel like they he was kind of left with the ball because everybody was kind of spread out and they were covered. The player that was on him was a smaller guy, so he was trying to take him to the bucket, either get fouled or make it to finish the game off. Tim Wright in the chat as well. He says, I've seen him make that high bank shot right a lot of times. Like I said, I wasn't afraid or I wasn't upset with him taking that shot. It's definitely a hard road for this team right now. Very different from what we're used to seeing from a UVA basketball program. Shout out to Coach Sanchez for trying to actually orchestrate and get that game to a one possession. In actuality, had an opportunity to win the game. So, got to give the coaches some kudos for that, even though it was a loss. But also, the change in philosophy. They played a zone as well, which got a turnover throughout the game, especially at the end. They played some zone and got a turnover at one of the most intricate parts, meaning points that they needed a turnover, and they got one and came down and scored. So. Shout out to these young men. They're just trying hard, playing hard. Also, shout out for this team not playing without Elijah. The second leading scorer, not playing with Elijah Saunders. So we'll see where this team goes. I believe there's a game Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly what the next game is, but on the 8th, which is next Saturday, a week from today, they have a tribute for Tony Bennett against Georgia Tech. I believe tip-off is at 5:30. So, but shout out, to the Wahoos. Good job playing, but they fall short by a point on a missed shot at the buzzer. This is Big Loss 7 City Shop Talk. Make sure you check us out on Tuesday. I'll have my team. We got some things to talk about. It's getting kind of hot. The recruiting has gone well, with the football program. A lot of things to talk about there as well. But just make sure you check me out. And my team, Tim saying in the chat, great fight down the stretch. Yeah, I'm very proud of them as well. Like I said, and the coaches for bringing it and fouling and orchestrating an opportunity to make it a one-possession game. That's all you can ask for at the end of the game, and then had a chance to win, but they didn't. But check us out on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. We will be there. Let's get it rolling, guys. This is Big Loss 7 City Shop Talk. Thanks again for hanging out with us. But as of now, the shop is closed. Thank you, guys. This has been fun. I'll see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.